Hello, welcome to another tour of a truck-mounted concrete pump. Today we are looking at a very special machine. It's the SANY SY37, which is also sold by Putzmeister. The machine has a vertical reach of 37 meters and a 5-arm placing boom with a rolling set configuration. What special features do we have on this machine? If you open the flap on the driver's side, we can see the control center. We have a black box with a color display where we can read off a variety of functions. You can also adjust various settings. This is all pretty simple with 6 buttons that are labeled with their respective function on the side. I want to show you an example of how to navigate the menu. Let's open the menu for support monitoring. If you press the F1 button, you get this selection page. We want to display the SSC menu. To do that, we will press the button next to the downwards arrow until the menu we want is highlighted with the red bar. Then we will confirm with OK. To go back, simply press the F1 button again, which is described as the home. Now, and just like this, we are back where we started. Another function possible with this display is changing the operating language. The English version is currently shown. To change the language, we will press the F2 button, which is labeled with LANG for language, where we can select German, for example, and press OK. The system needs a moment to load the language packs, and then our system is switched over to German. Doing it the other way round works the same way. Language, select the right language, OK, and the system is set to the required language. If we want to look at the inner working of the control cabinet, we can open the control cabinet with one simple step. The door opens very wide, so we can see everything what's going on inside the control cabinet. The control cabinet is equipped with a relatively small number of components. There is the emergency stop control unit. There is the microcontroller hidden behind this black cover. And there are the fuses and relays. To reach the fuses, I simply need to remove this small cover. Behind it are various relays and various fuses. There is even an auxiliary tool for pulling out the fuses. Once the fuse is changed, we can put the cover back on again and secure it. Just like that, we have changed the fuse. Right next to the main control cabinet is the control cabinet for support monitoring. The SANY machines sold by Putzmeister can be CE compliant, meaning they have a support monitoring system. The functionality of the control cabinet is limited to a few indicators. We have a green LED. If it's lit, the control cabinet is supplied with power. There is an orange and a red LED next to it. These LEDs are activated when the machine is not in its normal condition. For example, process monitoring mode 1. We can activate with the key switch. With process monitoring mode 1, we see that both the green LED and the orange LED are lit up. We can switch off this mode again in the same way. On the right, next to the control cabinet, is the local remote switch. With the local remote switch, we can put the machine in local operation, which is for moving support legs and setting up. The local remote switch is currently in the remote position. When we switch over the key, we are in the local position. If we switch it back, we are in the remote position again. Close to the local remote switch, there is a pneumatic valve, which is fitted to the machine's frame. This machine is fitted with an intermediate gearbox. This intermediate gearbox is used to switch the engine's power from driving to pumping mode. That much about the operating functions underneath this flag, on the driver's side. Let's continue to the next station of our tour, the support leg control block. We can find the support leg control block in the area for operating the support legs. Here we also have the spirit level for determining the machine's inclination. Very important for operation is this switch unit. Here we have an emergency stop button that switches the machine off in an emergency. And we have a switch that needs to be activated to enable the support leg's movement. Once we have enabled the support leg functionality electrically, we need to press the enabling function and the corresponding section using the two-hand operation method we are familiar with. We can swing out and telescope the support legs, and we can move the support cylinders at the front and at the rear up and down. This is always in conjunction with the enabling lever. Once you have activated the support legs and support cylinders, it's important to remember to switch off the switch for the support leg function and the driver's side. The same switch also exists on the passenger side. We are now at the rear right end of the machine. This is where local operation happens. If this machine is still in the driving position, of course, it's in a relatively low position. Once the machine is supported later, its operating point will be higher. The emergency stop button is also located at the local operation point. We can reset the emergency stop. And we can also reset the agitator and transfer tube function. When the local operation function is active, this switch can be used to set the machine to forward pumping or reverse pumping. Of course, the delivery rate can also be increased or reduced at this point. For cleaning or for the agitator function, there is this last switch. There is another storage compartment here on the passenger side. The boom control block is located behind this storage compartment. The boom control block is divided into different valve sections. On the right here, we have the so-called pilot section. To operate the boom function, this lever moves downwards and another lever moves upwards or downwards at the same time, which would mean slewing to the left or the right. To operate the support legs in an emergency, the pilot segment needs to be moved upwards so that there is a fluid flow to this valve. We refer to it as a second support leg valve. It's all about safety here. To supply the support leg control block with hydraulic fluid, it's not enough to just activate the enablement of the boom control block. This enabling valve here also needs to be activated. In this position, hydraulic fluid flows to the support leg control block. Directly next to the boom control block is the pressure gauge, where we can read off the boom's current hydraulic pressure. To the left of the boom control block is the high pressure filter for the hydraulic fluid flowing to the boom control block. That's all the information about the storage compartment on the passenger side. Let's look at how the water pump can be operated. The water pump is located on the passenger side near the truck's chassis. The high-pressure water pump is supplied with the water that is carried in the rear right support leg of the machine and supplied via this hose. In the lower part of the high-pressure water pump, we also have a blind coupling, which is removed and connected to the spray hose. In order to start up the machine on the construction site, we first need to set it to remote operation. We will switch on the radio remote control and go to the driver's cab, where we will switch on the power takeoff. The ignition is still switched on at the moment. That is why the display is switched on at the control cabinet. Now we will switch from local to remote operation and start up the radio remote control. First, we need to unlock the emergency stop. Then we will switch it on by pressing twice, once briefly and once longer. The remote control switches on, which is indicated by this flashing green light. To start up the machine, we will start the engine and then we will activate the intermediate gearbox. Once the green LED indicates pump on, we will press engine start on the remote control. The highest gear is engaged now and the machine is ready for operation. We will switch to local remote. Then we can reset the emergency stop at the local operation point. And we need to remember to also reset the agitator so that we can work with the agitator and the core pump. While we are walking to the support leg control blocks at the front, we can also unlock the rear support leg. To do that, we need to pull out the corresponding bolt and move the bracket across, like this, so that it's engaged. Now we can unlock the front support legs. All that's needed now is to switch the electrical enablement. The outrigger function starts up and we can move the support legs. In this environment, and for what we are doing here, it's enough to place the standard support plates underneath the front and rear support legs on this machine. To check whether the machine was set up correctly, we can press the F1 button and search for SSC menu by pressing the arrow pointing down. The SSC menu is now highlighted. I will press OK, and I can now see that the machine is displaying the extended support legs. The machine has detected the full support mode, meaning I can use all the working areas around the machine. The axes are marked accordingly with the arrows. That means the machine is set up correctly. If we want to move the placing boom, we need to switch over to the remote position. To unfold the boom, we need to set the correct boom speed on the transmitter. We can do that with the Haar or the Snail. I prefer the Haar for setting up. We need to make sure that we haven't switched on the corresponding boom lock. This is the boom lock switch, which we can use to lock arm 1 or both arm 1 and arm 2. But we don't want that for unfolding. So the switch needs to be in the middle position. We generally also have the option of locking the entire boom. That would mean that all operating functions for the placing boom are switched off. So let's switch from 0 to 1. We can now raise the placing boom. We need to be aware that once we rise the boom off the boom cradle, we will tension arm 2 slightly, and we will need to move arm 2 downwards so that the boom package can contract. Then we can continue moving arm 1 until it's nearly vertical, so that we can slew out the remainder of the boom package without damaging the base structure. We need to achieve a certain minimum angle with arm 1 before we can actuate arm 2 without damaging anything. We will do that by turning the right joystick to the right as well. We are now unfolding arms 1 and 2. The boom package unfolds. This machine has one last secret, and that is that the machine has a maintenance box. The maintenance box is located above the delivery cylinders, near to the water box. This is where I can move the delivery pistons and other things when performing maintenance work. We will look into this in more details with the next setting. The maintenance box also has an emergency stop button, of course, so that the machine can be stopped in case there is an issue. I can move the delivery pistons manually by activating this button here. If I move it up or down, then the delivery pistons will move. I can switch over the transfer tube manually, left side or right side. I can change the speed of rotation. I can switch on the agitator. And in case of servicing, I can move the delivery pistons into the water box and replace them, all with the engine off and with the nitrogen accumulator dumped. Then I can retract the delivery pistons back into the delivery cylinders with this button and can continue working. On machines with different size, the buttons for moving the delivery piston into the water box may be located elsewhere. In this case, these explanatory symbols aren't located at this button position. Instead, the switch will be labeled with exit and reset. So, that's the Sany SY37, from setup to unfolding the boom. The machine would now be ready for operation if we had concrete here. I hope you found this helpful and that you enjoy working with this machine. Have a nice time.